Welcome to day 23 of the CYP 60-day challenge. This week is all about personal growth. And there's a lot that we can learn about personal growth from observing the lobster. As a lobster grows, their shell becomes too tight. While the body of the lobster grows, the shell, or the exoskeleton, does not grow. It stays the same size. So at some point, the lobster begins to outgrow its shell. And when that happens, the lobster puts itself in between two rocks so it can be nice and stuck, and it moves itself around until its shell cracks open, and then it kind of wiggles back and forth, side to side, until it can back out of its old shell. After it backs out, it has to go and hide under a rock or stay protected because now it's soft and it can be vulnerable to predators. And so it stays hidden away until the new exoskeleton grows and it is protected once again and it can go back out into the world. There are a lot of lessons that can be learned there. There are times in our lives where we feel like we have outgrown our situation. We've outgrown our job, our relationships, our friends, our thought patterns, our way of doing things and being, that no longer fits who we are and certainly no longer fits where we want to go. And we may need to put ourselves in the position of being between a rock and a hard place, and we may feel stuck in that space. And we have to go about the effort of cracking ourselves open and struggling in this space of feeling too tight and wanting to feel free until we are able to back out of the situation that we are in. And when we do, we are likely feeling very vulnerable and raw as we are in the midst of change, and we may need to retreat into ourselves or find safe space and safe company so that we are not putting ourselves out into the world in a way that is scary as we go through this change, until we find that we are more secure in who we are, more rooted and more strong, and then able to go back out into the world as the next version of ourselves. And so that's going to be our challenge today, is to reflect on the journey of the lobster and how that fits into who we are and our change. So if you click on the link for the CYP 60-day challenge, either in the bio or in the comments, you are going to get a sheet that you can use to reflect on your life in transition as a lobster. And it's going to ask you some questions around what is your motivation for change. Oftentimes, there are two reasons why we are prompted to do something different, prompted to change or to start a transition. One is this push motivation, right? Just like the lobster, where you're feeling too tight and you just need to push yourself out, where you realize that your job, your relationship, your wellness, what's happening for you right now no longer fits you, and you need to push your way out of that situation. And that can be really hard because you know what you don't want, but you don't know what you want. You don't know what you're moving towards. And so that can be really struggling, but challenging. And that motivation to get out is what's prompting us to change. The opposite is pull motivation. That's when you get offered an amazing job, or you meet somebody who's fantastic, or everybody around you starts saying that they're going to start working out and eating well, and so you have good positive motivation around you. And so in those cases, you are pulled towards your goal. You're pulled towards something new. That can be much easier than push motivation. The challenge there is just making sure that whatever you're pulled to is really in alignment with your goals. But you're going to assess that. What is motivating this period of change? What is the hard part that you're like struggling in that wiggling of that middle space? And how are you going to protect yourself after you go through this change and you're feeling vulnerable and feeling not yet ready for the world and not yet ready to introduce yourselves because you're not strong in who you are? How are you going to do that and keep yourself safe? So fill out the form. Let us know what this process is like for you on Facebook or Instagram. Go onto our website at craftingyourpath.com to download all of the forms from the past week. If you missed anything past last week, you can sign up for a newsletter so that you can access all of the 60 days worth of videos and handouts so you can continue on this journey on your own or invite others to come with you. And so come back tomorrow as we continue to explore how we can invest in our personal growth. See you tomorrow.